Hello, TV Land. It's your boy, Freelancer Joe, ready to once again get cracking. Yes, it is now episode 4 of 5 of my Sunday recording session marathon. Ironman, biathlon, triathlon. No, I think marathon is the actual right word. Right word. Correct word. The proper word to use. Well, and I don't know if we can really call it a marathon, considering I'm taking sufficient breaks between these episodes. If you got the last episode, episode 3, I said I had stopped for a match of Gambit and Destiny and got stomped. Well, I stopped for another match of Gambit Destiny and I got stomped again. But on the plus side of things, my personal performance was much better. 80 overall kills for the 2 rounds, which is par for course, actually. Let me see. What am I supposed to do next? Oh, I am supposed to inquire about how you are all doing on this fine and wonderful Wednesday afternoon/evening. Oh, the camera. The camera does not love me today. Why? Why do you do this to me, camera? Look at that. I look so drugged out. I swear, I'm not on anything. I'm only high on life. And kisses from a honey bunny. Let's try that again. Cheese. Okay. Actually, I think it's just the bags under the eyes that kind of make it look worse than it is. Then again, I mean, low-res cameras kind of should make you look better, and yet it's when escape. Maybe maybe that was why I was having the issues. All right. Where was I? I was asking you how your Wednesday was. I hope it was good and wonderful and fantastic and incredible and fantastic. As I mentioned, it's still Sunday. And it's got a little bit brighter, but it's still gloomy and dreary outside, which is wonderful. Wait, I cracked this open. All right. I'm walking through each step to try and remember if I did them or did not do them. As you can tell, the brain cells still aren't fully firing. So while I try to gather my thoughts, which is like herding the proverbial cats, I hope your Wednesday's going wonderfully well and fine and fantastic. I wonder how my Wednesday will be going. Again, projecting into the future. I mean, it'll be the middle of my first week at the new project. I imagine I should be kind of settled in, hopefully. Maybe? Well, I mean, not fully settled in, but up to the point where I might start doing things of use. Maybe? I kind of hope I will be able to do that by Tuesday, but you know, it's hard to say. You figure you spend your first day there, meeting and greeting, getting the general layout of the land, and then Tuesday maybe there's paperwork or things to do before you can use the correct systems or get the right software. So Wednesday should be settling in. Hopefully I still have energy, and I'm actually getting closer to a... why doesn't this look like it's lined up? Because it's not lined up, that's why. Alright, there we go. There we go, and let's start it up. Start it up. Yes. You know, you think I'd be a little bit more disappointed with my lackluster progress or success in Gambit. And well, what I'm really working on is the pinnacle weapon, and that's going to be a slow grind anyway. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually require wins. I don't go into Gambit expecting wins, but I had picked up the weekly bounty, and I had misread it. Basically, you needed to get 12 points, and I read that 3 points come from a win, and you lose 1 for a loss. But that's not true. You actually gain 1 for a loss. So Bungie, praise Bungie, was very generous. Well, yeah, fairly generous. And that means even if you, as long as you go in and you play, you'll be able to complete it. And that's the thing in any competitive. That's the big thing about competitive gameplays that I'm just not a fan of. It's just like, if it depends on you, doing well, it's like, there are so many variables about whether or not you're going to do well. It's how you're doing, how your network's doing, who you end up matched up against, and how they're doing. And in Gambit, which is team-based, it's like, is your team focused? Are they trying to win, or are they trying to do something else? But here, this one, just at worst case, 12 losses, you'll finish it. That's still kind of painful when you're getting stomped, like I got stomped these last 2 matches. But I'm actually at 8 points because I picked this up, I want to say Friday, this bounty Friday, and I played 2 matches, and the team I was with, we even won the first 2 matches. So it would make me kind of feel bad for the other team, except I'm certain if you looked at my win-loss ratio, clearly I wouldn't have to feel too bad for them, unless they somehow managed to have a lower win-loss than me, which is somewhat unlikely. Alright, so where are we? Okay, alright. I don't like the fact that that's... Oh. I'd have to clean that up. But that involves playing more with the calendar, and we got other things to play with on the calendar right now. So as you saw, we had the indicator, which the progress indicator, which showed up while it was loading events, and then the event loaded and it disappeared. And if we go back, the same thing again. But what I want to point out is that the calendar now says December, even though I click back. So if I go forward, it's going to show December's. We don't have any events for December? Apparently not. Today's the 2nd? Yeah, today's the 2nd. That's curious. That's all mixed up. Alright, so if it says December, but it loaded November's events. It says December, not showing December's events. And now I go forward, and it should be January 2019, but it's not. So the question is, why? And I said this was an interesting issue, and so here's how it goes. So when I added the code for displaying the calendar and not displaying the calendar, right? What happens is basically either the calendar is attached to the virtual DOM or it's not. Now, when the component for the calendar view mounts and renders, it creates a reference to the calendar. Okay? And then when it initially mounts, it's going to use that reference to get the date. But the first time it comes up, the calendar is not there. And so basically the calendar disappears and reappears, and that reference basically just keeps resetting. So that's the problem. Or that's a problem. Clearly it's a problem because Now he can't view the different months. So how do we fix it? Well, the simplest one is basically just don't hide the calendar. Just always show the calendar and just just show that loading indicator to indicate whether or not it's loading. Yeah, okay. The other option, I've mentioned this before, was that we could simply have a popover show up displaying the progress bar and make it modal so that they can't access the calendar until it's done loading. Again, a fix that works, but I've mentioned before I don't like dialogues, pop-up dialogues. And as an intellectual exercise, what I would be interested in trying is to see if I can actually get that ref there to correctly work. So, what is the trick going to be then? Well, the trick is we need the calendar attached to the virtual DOM, but simply not showing. So, I believe what we can do, excuse me, CSS, take advantage of CSS. And what we can do is set the visibility for the div to hidden. So the div will still be there, it just won't be rendered by the browser. Whereas the way I'm doing it right now is it's removed from the virtual DOM. So how are we going to do that? Are we going to do it this way? Well, first off, we will need to create a separate style. So now we have calendar with height width. So let's just create another one. It's going to be the same, but I mean, there are multiple ways to do this. I could take that style and then just add an attribute, but we're just going to copy this because it's only, what, a couple lines. It's just no big deal. Well, again, I'm sure the more detail-oriented would say, oh, there's a very big deal, and then they would spend hours telling me why I'm wrong. Well, I will have moved on to something else. Alright, so now we're just going to have this little style block and say visibility is hidden. And so now instead of returning an empty div for the calendar, we are going to, alright, we're always going to return the calendar regardless. One, two. Well, it sounds like the neighbors are doing their vacuuming. Good for them. I could have sworn the other day, like, was it Friday night? It was Friday night. I heard a different, I didn't hear barking, I heard yapping, like they got a smaller dog. So maybe they were just, I don't know, dog sitting for somebody, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But then that small dog was behaving just like their normal dogs. So, Alright, so if we're always returning that, what are we actually changing? Well, we're changing the class name to use. Let calendar class name. By default, we're going to assume it's going to be classes.calendar, right? But if we're loading, we're going to change that to the classes. Make the assignment calendar class name equals classes.calendar hidden. And we don't need this else block. And of course, since that is what we're going to use, we don't use this. No mo, no mo, no mo. So let's see if that does the trick. Well, I'm curious why the December events weren't showing up. That might simply be an after effect of the calendar being unattached and reattached. We'll see. Calendar, look. Nope, that's no good. Back. Well, on the plus side, okay, so on the plus side, the calendar itself seems to be working fine. On the downside, it's, I want to say, ignoring that style. Yeah, that's a little bit off. Okay, there we go. There we go. Actually, she's looking at the web console. Inspect element. Right click, right click, right click, click. Inspect element. Let's take a look at that. It's possible that the calendar styles might be overriding what I'm telling it. Top bar. What's all these scroll bars? I'm actually a little confused about why all these scroll bars are here. Oh, maybe I still have... No, I thought I took that out. Calendar 2018. Visibility. Hidden. So that should have worked. Yeah, that should have worked, right? It looks like it works. Am I going to have to debug this? That seems pretty straightforward. I mean, the logic seems pretty straightforward, right? Let calendar class name equal classes.calendar, which is when we show it. If we're loading, calendar class name is going to equal classes.calendar hidden. And then we use calendar class name for the div containing the calendar. Alright, so let's see. No. What value it's actually using. Calendar class name. That's fine. And just to help it stand out more, easier for me to track through the web console, is this. It's very interesting. It could be one of those behaviors, possibly. Oh, what a good-looking dude. Very attractive in the masculine, manly sort of way. Even at lower resolutions. Alright. I'll clear this out. Calendar. Alright. No, so it says calendar view hidden. So it was using hidden. And then it switched to calendar. But quite clearly, that calendar was still visible. Yep, quite clearly that calendar was still visible. Did I specify that style incorrectly? Calendar hidden. Height 600, width 700, visibility hidden. Alright, so let's try this. What if we just always make it calendar hidden? Because I'm guessing that there's something incorrect with how I specified that style. Possibly that's not the correct attribute. It looks like it should be. Oh yeah, I'm leaning more towards it being how I define that. Should be 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Makes me wish I hadn't commented this out. Alright, style equals height 700, width 70%, visibility hidden. Let's see if that takes. See, it's a small thing, right? But it takes most of the time. Alright, no, so the calendar is hidden. So that definition of style is correct. Is it simply not re-rendering? Okay, so we know that this works. So then the next thing to try is... Well, okay, let calendar style equal actually no, we don't need multiple ones. Calendar style is going to equal this. So I don't know if it's the switching that's causing the problems. Is it the switching, or is it how I'm accessing those styles, or if loading, then calendar style will now equal visibility colon hidden. Right. And so for style, we're gonna try this. Calendar style. Oh, I shouldn't have, I copied again and I didn't save what I copied out, which is really just class name equals calendar class name. Clear that. Okay, that works. And calendar hidden. But yet calendar hidden is not making it hidden. Let's make sure that calendar hidden is exactly the same as this. visibilty, visibility, 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 visibility. Why do they make all the letters look so similar? Well, there is no shame here, my friends. No shame at all. Alright. So that's what I should have. My gut was that I defined that style incorrectly because all the logic seemed correct. But you get the L and the I and the T, they're all vertical, so very easy to see how I can miss that. So class name equals that variable which we defined up there. Calendar class name. And so let us see. Oh, let us see. That's a variant on we shall see. Is it a good enough variant to be considered different? The thing is, if you're going to have verbal ticks, you might as well have multiple verbal ticks. You got to keep it mixed up. If you have enough, then it's harder for people to notice the verbal ticks. Calendar's not there. Events are loaded. Calendar's there. All right, let's go to the previous month. Can we go to, is this December back? Yep. And can we go to January? Yeah, alright. There are probably smoother ways to transition that thing. There is actually. I could have it in a separate, I could have the div containing the calendar transition on and off as, ooh, that actually would be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet. That might be better than having it hidden, to be completely honest. We might do that next. Yes, I like that. I impressed myself. But we are just about at the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to wrap this up for now. Cool kid words about liking and subscribing, commenting, and suggesting. I hope that the rest of your Thursday and the beginning of the Friday is wonderful and fantastic and great. And that you'll join me next time. But until the next time, I hope that you take care and God bless.